Hi everyone, welcome back. In today's episode, I'm going to show you guys how to get your lawnmower ready for the mowing season. So the first thing I like to do when I get my lawnmower ready for the mowing season is the first thing I do is check the oil. So to check the oil, simply pull the dipstick out and check if the oil is at the correct level. This oil looks good. Sorry if it's not focused, but make sure that the oil is at the correct level, and if it's not, you're gonna want to add some. And this one, the oil looks pretty black, so I'm gonna make a video next about how to change the oil, so that you guys can get a full in-depth guide on how to change the oil. So the next thing I like to do after I check the oil is check the gas to make sure that last year's nasty gas isn't in the gas tank. So on this mower, there is gas in there, but I think I put stabilizer in there in the fall, so it should be good. So if your gas isn't good, meaning you have the lowest octane level, like 87, then your carburetor is probably dirty, so you're gonna have to clean that out. But if you run like the premium fuel like I do and put stabilizer, then it's probably fine after the whole winter of sitting. So the next thing I check is the air filter. This one looks pretty good because last fall, as you guys can probably remember if you watched the video, I made a video about how to change the carburetor on this style Briggs engine, and it came with a new air filter, so I installed it, and whoa, blew away. And this one looks fine to me, so that's good. We're gonna go ahead and put that back in, and now we're gonna maybe try and start. So just a quick recap. Before you try to start your lawnmower for the mowing season, to when it starts, you're going to want to first check the oil to make sure it's clean and at the correct level. Second, you're going to want to check the fuel to make sure it looks good. And if there isn't any, you're going to want to add some fresh gas, preferably the highest octane level, like 91 or something, if you can get that, without ethanol. That's important. But if yours has ethanol in it, you can just add stabilizer. That's what I usually do, and it cleans the engine as it runs. And finally, check the air filter, because if it's dirty, that means that dirt could possibly get sucked into the engine and wear it out, which isn't good. It basically means you're gonna have to buy a new lawnmower. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, if your lawnmower has one of these little shut-offs like mine does, I installed this last year, you're going to want to go ahead and turn that on, because if you don't turn it on, then your lawnmower is not going to start. So there we go. It's on. Now we're going to check the underside of the mower to make sure that there is no grass underneath. And I'll show you why in a second. Alright guys, so now we're going to go ahead and check the underside of the lawnmower to make sure that there's no dead grass on the deck. And the proper way to tip your lawnmower up is to have the carburetor side facing up, because if it's down, that means that oil and stuff can go through the engine and make a big mess. So you're gonna want to go ahead and tip it up like this. There we go. And wow, that's a lot of grass. So before we go ahead and start this thing up, we're gonna have to go ahead and scrape all this off to make sure that we're gonna have to go ahead and scrape all this grass off, because that will prolong the life of the deck. Because if you leave the grass on the deck over the long winter, there's still moisture in the grass when you cut it, right? So it can rust up the deck like this. So there's rust right there, so that's not good. So we're gonna have to go ahead and scrape off all the grass. When you scrape the grass off of your deck, make sure to get in the corners really good, because that's where it tends to rust out. And it also tends to rust out up here on the side, so make sure to get that really good as well. Okay, so this is what it looks like after I've scraped off all of the dead grass. And if you didn't sharpen your lawnmower blade in the fall, like I did, I already sharpened it in the fall, so I didn't have to worry about doing it this spring. You're gonna want to go ahead and sharpen it, because that will give it the best cut, and it'll even help the engine work along as well and not work as hard. Okay, so another quick recap. We've checked the oil level, the gas, the air filter, we checked underneath the deck, and I've already checked that the blade is sharp and is good. So now we are ready to go start this thing up and make it work. All right, let's try to start this thing up. It might need more priming, so let me try that. Maybe the fuel isn't turned on. Let me check that again. No. Fuel's on. Huh. I'm gonna help the engine out with a little bit of quick start. There we go. Put this back on. Now let's go. Now let's try it. Okay. Let me try continuously feeding the quick start into the engine as it's running, and maybe that will help prime the carburetor up. And that is how to get your lawnmower ready for the mowing season. Now, as you guys saw, I did have to feed it quick start to get the carburetor primed up. You may have to do that as well, just because the gas has settled to the bottom and the carburetor has lost its prime as it's been sitting. So yeah, thank you for watching. See you next time.